generally, out of this 250 million people or 150 million people, most women are happier at home. They are pretending that they like working, and they're not making money because they don't stay all night at the office. They don't go the extra mile. They don't work all weekend. You're making a mistake. You would be much happier at home with a husband and children.
Oh, boy. Oh,
I mean, I'm literally shaking.
You just said you're single. You don't have a boyfriend. You're what?
That's
You're celibate?
my choice.
Yeah, look, you're miserable. You would be so much happier with kids around you tonight. Imagine coming home, mommy's home.
You know what, Gavin? You're not funny. You're not what you do not do anything.
I'm trying to make you happy.
You do not do anything for the better. Sean, this isn't funny.
Feminism has made women miserable. Women were much happier when housewives were glorified.
Guess what? I had a choice to be married, and I chose not to. I have a choice to have kids.
You made a mistake.
We'll give you the last word. Go ahead.
But is it not a problem that the women have a smaller brain than a man?
That is wrong.
But the government scientists, Dr. Yamak, have proved it is size of squirrel.
It's a war on your parts, is what it is. Well, we're not doing a show investigating the typical sex inequalities. We're going to be a little more contrarian today and throw a few grenades. Is there a war on men? Let's ask our dapper party panel. It's lawyer and feminist writer Jill Filopovic and Gavin McInnes, contributor at tachymag.com.
Pay alimony payments to husbands. And same with child support payments.
No.
Madonna lost $76 million on her failed marriage to Guy Ritchie.
She's not your typical broad. Look, the alimony concept was invented when it was the Nona cooking a spaghetti the whole life, and then she gets a band, she goes, I made spaghetti for you guys my whole life, and now I don't know have the skills. But now that women see single motherhood and they go, sisters are doing it for themselves. And speaking of women, can I say something incredibly sexist here?
Yes,
Gavin, this would be very rare for you.
If we were to pluck at least those two women out of the workforce, and maybe hundreds of thousands of more, would the GDP be that devastated?
Oh, Gavin, wait a minute. I mean was this guy much better?
Would it be like in Mad Max when the black stuff ran out and the cogs went, or would they just keep on chugging along? Like when I would go at my old company with my buddy Sebastian, who's a very handsome man, much younger than me, looks like a Greek god, and we would be looking in the mirror, you know, at the hotel, we're getting ready, and he would go, look at you, you look like a raisin. You look like you're a million years old. Look at those crow's feet. And you look like a worm who was rubbed around on the floor of a barber shop. And then he goes, and look at me, a Greek, I'm an Adonis. Look at this hair. And it's funny because it's true. You know, I don't go on a blog and start crying. That's how we insult each other. I know. We had a guy in high school who had mental illness. He was schizophrenic. He went in and out of mental institutions. His nickname was Crazy Ryan.
Did he ever recover?
I don't think so, no. Oh, no, he did. He has a kid now and stuff. He'd probably he wanted to kill me because I let it out that he was Crazy Ryan about 10 years ago, so I'm sure he's... It's like my buddy Dan goes, smelling a woman's ass is a poor man's Viagra, because you're grossed out by how much you like it, and you're like, I'm a fucking pig, and then boing. Show. New York college Republicans invited me to do a talk. And everyone's giving the finger, racist, Nazi, we don't want the KKK. You're like, the KKK, really? That'd be funny if we just showed up on horses in Klansman uniforms, like, ka-dum, 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 ka-dum. We're here to do our KKK talk, boy. Get out of my way. Anyway, you know Iron Man has that blue thing in his chest? Yeah. I don't think women are evil. Women are like Iron Man. They're magic, right? But by ripping out that blue thing, you're ripping out their ability to have children and be mothers and everything. And then you put in a piece of shit into Iron Man's chest. That's what feminists and like this woman are. They're shit chests. And they're malfunctioning robots. And they're like, bzz, bzz, kill him. Milo wants genocide. Kill him. Bzz,
so do you think that they're...
Yeah, I think business-wise, people are completely misestimating the leverage that we would have on Mexico. Their leaders just said, nope, we're not going to do it. And if he says no, what are you going to do? They're already poor as dirt. Are you going to harm their credit rating? You go to war with Mexico? I don't know how you do it.
You deny them $50 billion in trade.
I'm going to say, okay. I think they'd sooner go with that than pay for a wall.
Good. Thank God. That would be wonderful. Now we have manufacturing back here. Okay, so that's one big issue. And then also, my theory with Milo is I think his eyesight's getting worse. His glasses are getting thicker and thicker, and he's sort of going, this is my moment to make an impact. So he's just like...
Well, you think he's going blind?
I think so, yeah.
Wait, are you just theorizing this?
Yeah.
He's only like 28.
Yeah.
But you look at him, he
Look
just
at his
can't
reading
read
glasses.
that good.
They're insane.
Really?
Yeah, and they're getting thicker. But I think he's trying to make a maximum impact in a short amount of time.
Because you think he doesn't have much time left? That's such a... He seems healthy.
He
Last time
also
I saw
seems
him, he
totally
lost some
reckless.
weight.
In fact, when we were in Orlando, we made out at the site of the...
You guys made out?
Yeah, at the
Why'd
site
you
of the
make out
Orlando...
with Milo?
To offend Muslims. Look at Iran in 1965. Mini skirts, woman doing chemistry with test tubes, driving around. Hi, you want to go to the go-go hop later? And now just garbage bags. Oh, yeah, oh, Gregorian chants everywhere. The president is pro-hate. So then they go, hey, Trump, I'm against hate. And he goes, that's nice. So they build their straw man, and then they're attacking him and lighting him on fire. And the rest of us are going, I don't care that you're lighting a scarecrow on fire. You look fucking ridiculous.
And the guy says, just a lot of people that love you a lot and are worried about you, man. Is that the worst quote you've ever heard? I'd appreciate it if you could apologise. I couldn't help but notice you were swearing in front of a lady.
Strap yourself in for this. 70% of all Pakistanis are inbred. And in Turkey, the amount is between 25 to 30%. More stillbirths among immigrants. A rough estimate reveals that close to half of everybody living in the Arab world is inbred. A large percentage of the parents said, this is blowing my mind.
I blog posted it before I came here. Irshad Manji in The Trouble with Islam, she says, a weird group of wasabis just hijacked their religion and sent it into the Dark Ages. And I go, yeah, but how were they vulnerable to hijacking? Christianity couldn't be hijacked by the snake guys. So why? And I think a part of it was inbreeding. And every time I bring this up, people go, yeah, what about white people, hillbillies? They were inbreeding, or royalty, they were inbreeding. And I go, yeah. And it went real bad. It was a bad move. We learned the hard way. We saw Deliverance. And the Nazis cut off Holland from all supplies, so they were forced to eat tulips. And a lot of them, hundreds of thousands of them, starved to death. And Audrey Hepburn was from that world, and she was a skinny chick who didn't need a lot of food. All of her ancestors' kids became obese, big, giant, fat pigs. And they say it could have been genetic memory where their bodies went, holy shit, you found Doritos? I'm going to hold on to this because you're never going to find one again. Then you get and I've noticed this in LA with all these Mexicans I see everywhere. They seem more obese than the general populace. And I think they have genetic memory from a generation or two ago where food was scarce and their bodies hold on to it. The fact that a cell can remember this through generations, like, have you ever heard of cell memory?
Yeah.
Where you get an eye transplant and all of a sudden you're seeing the guy that killed that guy? I think it was on 60 Minutes, but I know genetic memory is a real thing. Maybe they're right. Maybe gays should be thrown off buildings. They've scientifically proved it. Maybe a lot of these rape victims are bitches that should have stones thrown at them.
Oh, wow.
Just kidding, internet. And I brought him a microphone. I said, come up here and you tell me which of my ideas you don't like, and you tell me what your idea is, and we'll discuss it. And he's like, whose campus, our campus? Whose campus? It was really like a broken robot. And one of them, by the way, had a drawing of this on a piece of paper. And he was holding it up at me like this, like, what? You ever heard anything more insane in your life? I mean, maybe it was 1920 and we were at a British private school or something and you're the only one. People are screaming at me, dude. They're saying, like, die, scumbag, Nazi. And you have a drawing of a fuck you finger.
By that standard across the board. I know it matters to you.
We're not electing a friend, okay? We're not electing someone that we can go and go camping with. We're electing someone who is going to do as little as possible, as far as I'm concerned, and meddle. I don't want him buying Cylindra. I don't want him forcing a healthcare program at gunpoint. I don't want him going to our enemies and doing nuclear deals with them so he can look good and he's showboating for his Muslim friends. I don't want any of that. But the reason I think that Trump is so important right now is because we're living in a real era of shame. We're living in a culture that's anti-masculine. We're living in a culture where we're ashamed of being patriotic. We're changing the name of Columbus Day. And what Trump is saying with Make America Great Again is make America proud to be great again. We know we're great, but all this capitulation and shame and how many genders do you want me to say? It really is it's our death knell.
Michael Jordan, you throw him in Africa, and there'd be like, you have to meet this man who is in the Congo. He can jump 1,000,000 miles in the air. His name is Juju Jordan. And he has like a leather basketball, and I don't know what it is. I am so good at this. He would be flown over like Jeremy Lin or whatever. And I think Jimmy Kimmel and you are the same. They just